Hi, and welcome to the Anti-Politica channel. Today is Tuesday, October 10. So this week is the week when we are supposed to get new Speaker of the House. So this quick comment will be devoted to this topic. We believe it will be pretty smooth. And we also wanted to argue that despite some suggestions, Donald Trump was never going to become Speaker of the House, and it's just impossible given the layout of the relative balance of power that we see in the House. We also want to argue that for MAGA movement, the actual speaker, the person is not that important, but priorities should be elsewhere. What's often neglected and overlooked is that as strong and massive the MAGA movement may be outside Washington, if you look at the GOP in the House, they are a small minority. So they have accomplished a great deal. What they have pulled off so far is already a miracle, but they cannot do much more before the 2024 election. Hopefully, after the new Congress is in, much more will be possible. So we believe that as of now, the priorities should be to keep the results that have already been achieved and get ready for the big battle that's awaiting next year. So what do we mean by this? Well, it was telling last week the credible rumors that 40 or so House Republicans wanted to expel Matt Gaetz for his role in unseating Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House. So that tells us that there are 40 or so hardcore uniparty RINO Republicans that are very, very anti-MAGA, and they probably get along much better with Democrats than they do with MAGA representatives that they share the same caucus with. So we're talking about two groups of people that can't stand each other, whose priorities clash 100%, and realistically, this number of 40 or so tells us that this wing of the party in the House is much, much stronger than the MAGA wing. If you remember election of Kevin McCarthy and those repeated votes, we're talking about 20 or so hardcore MAGA folks in the House. So 20 to 40 between the two extremes. And then we have 160 or so people who are in the center, who are moderate. Most of them probably leaning more toward the RINO wing of the party. These are people who probably got to Washington in order to become rich or influential in some other kind of way and so forth. And they advanced there through the ranks of the Republican Party, which is controlled and has been controlled for decades by the establishment. Although these folks in the middle can probably be persuaded, they haven't really exposed themselves that much establishment as to vote to expel Matt Gaetz. So they're probably hedging their bets and will be willing to lean whichever the wind is stronger. Having said that, if you have 40 or so people willing to expel Matt Gaetz from the caucus, that tells you that Donald Trump would have no chance of getting their vote to become Speaker of the House. So it's even though this vote is public, it's very easy to imagine Dan Crenshaw and several others basically voting against Donald Trump, and then along with the Democrats preventing his election as Speaker of the House. We in this kind of constellation, with this kind of balance of power, we believe that none of the two wings can get their person to be speaker, and this makes this choice somewhat easy and natural. And we believe that this will go pretty smoothly. Either Jim Jordan or Steve Scalise, whoever gets more votes, will become new speaker, because both wings probably realize that this is not a battle worth fighting for either of these two sides. So they'll probably converge on the kind of compromise choice. What the clear priority for the MAGA movement should be is to preserve the legacy of the battles fought beforehand. So this idea of single issue appropriation bills and motion to vacate, which were won when Kevin McCarthy was becoming Speaker of the House. That legacy should be the most important lever that the MAGA movement has, and it has to be preserved at all cost. As far as the committees, sure, if the MAGA movement can get some better committee appointments to make those committees more effective, more productive, that would be great, but we shouldn't get our hopes up too much because the RINO wing of the party is stronger. They have proven themselves very effective in making these committees ineffective and slow, and the whole term of Kevin McCarthy it seems to be that the whole point was to slow down the MAGA agenda as they work toward sabotaging and eliminating this wing in elections moving forward. So we believe that should be the main focus for the MAGA folks and their support across different states. So as far as the base, the emphasis should be, of course, in disciplining and calling moderate Republicans, telling them that their vote is being monitored and they should get their act together. That's always a good idea, but the focus should be the battle moving forward. And given that these two wings can stand each other, they will probably try to eliminate each other moving forward, and the 2024 election is crucial in this respect. So as far as the MAGA folks are concerned, the priorities couldn't be clearer. We have self-identified 40 or so RINOs who were so much against the MAGA agenda that they wanted Matt Gaetz out of the caucus. So these are clearly candidates that need to be primaried in the election moving forward. If the MAGA movement can replace those 40 Republicans with MAGA candidates in the new House, then the agenda can be pushed full speed ahead. But before that happens, we can only expect sabotage and slowing down of the agenda, as we have seen during McCarthy's term. So the focus for the MAGA folks should be to preserve those accomplishments from before and focus on basically primary work so that these RINOs can be eliminated. So this will be a tough process. Knowing this, the establishment will push fake MAGA candidates, people who pretend to support Donald Trump and be on the same page with Matt Gaetz, only to reveal themselves as nothing but once they're elected. So the priority number one for the MAGA movement will be to identify and push through and help right challengers win nominations and win seats from the 40 or so RINO Republicans. In order to do that, the MAGA movement has the base and very, very kind of eager and energized base. They have independent channels, and they should use those resources to the full extent, knowing that the mainstream media and the establishment, which has unlimited resources pretty much, will be playing all kinds of dirty games, trying to basically insert candidates to pretend to be MAGA when they're not, and try to sabotage authentic, honest MAGA candidates. The other push that the RINOs will make is to make as much of the proceedings and as much of the decision making behind closed doors. So fighting for transparency and keeping the public informed is another front on which the MAGA movement should insist. The message here is that not much should be expected from the new appointments, and the establishment will probably be able to continually slow down the work of various committees. If some better appointments can be made, if more aggressive approach can be taken, sure, that's something that needs to be done. But as far as this Congress, the main part of the battle in electing new speaker is getting them to commit, as Kevin McCarthy was forced to single issue appropriation bills and motion to vacate, which is just an insurance policy that will allow the MAGA movement to enforce the terms of the deal and prevent those horrendous omnibus bills. Not much more than that can be done given the power of the establishment wing of the party in the current composition of the Congress of the United States. The main battle will be the battle for the future. That is getting the party energized and identifying and pushing through the right MAGA candidates to replace those RINO Republicans that are currently occupying their seats in Congress, and also to get as many as possible MAGA authentic candidates to win seats from Democrats. It's important to be realistic and pick one's battles. And as we said, we think it's a good idea that this nomination of Donald Trump for Speaker of the House didn't go anywhere, because that would have been an unnecessary battle that could not be won no matter what. So if you have a battle that you cannot win, don't fight it. So we believe it's okay, it's reasonable to just settle for a good compromise on the choice of new Speaker of the House, as long as they're forced to accept what was accomplished before. Single issue, spending bills, motion to vacate, and then if they can give the MAGA wing of the Republican Party some better committee appointments, that would be great as well, but that will be a tough slog. The other side is well organized, has plentiful resources, is embedded everywhere, so they will be ready to sabotage those committees. So with that, this will be an interesting week to watch. Thank you all so much. We'll see you soon.